we looking? How is the content looking now? How is the content? Look, ooh, we gonna give you that look right there. Microphone fiend, how's the content looking now, man? How is the content looking now, right? And I got some notes right here. We're gonna go in. It's time, it's time. It's time. You heard? It's time. Pull up a chair, though. Pull up a chair. December 1st. What I'm gonna do is, right? Yeah, look, I'm gonna record like some of these guys. I'm gonna put the hoodie on. Look, I'm gonna put the hoodie on like I'm about to do a job. That's the shit y'all into. Y'all be into the looks, right? So I throw the hoodie on, right? Now I look the part, right? Don't I look the part? I look real goofy, right? I'm indoors with a hoodie on like I'm about to go do a job. That's what y'all be into, right? That's what y'all into. I'll pull for you, man. Appreciate you. Smash the like button. Thank you. Thank you for pulling for me. I appreciate that, man. I pull for myself too, right? But I appreciate you pulling for me. That goes a long way, good brother. Let me see something. I know yesterday, right? Yeah, see, I don't know what that was last night. Last night, you was here from the start. Appreciate you. Hold on, I'm gonna pull you up right now. We'll see. I'm gonna check on you right now. I'm gonna look you up. I'm gonna look you up right now. I'm gonna tell you if you was here from the start. Shout out your section. If you was here from the start, you should know how official I am. If you was here from the start, put it in the comment section how official I am. You know the real growth there. You know I don't have to trick the audience, right? You know I don't have to trick my audience. If you was here from the start, you know I'm a real UGK, a real underground king with stats and certifications in this top of the morning, y'all. Top of the morning. It is December 1st. It is December 1st, right? Feeling Djibouti. Man, I keep bringing you back over here. You turned out. You's a turned out trick, huh? Yeah, I'm talking to somebody other behind the source views, man. One of my turned out tricks. You know, I turned them out. I turned him out. He got turned out. You know, he's a turned out trick, right? But we here, happy Monday. We're gonna get to this content. Look, I got my content creator look on. I got the hoodie on. I'm ready to pull a job. You know, I'm ready to pull a job, right? So what has been going on? We're gonna just be a little bit of everywhere. I'm gonna get a couple people up in here first, and then I'm gonna talk some boxing, cause I just see, you know, today's show is gonna be about right here. Let me put it down. Tricking the viewers, right? Because everybody wants to be tricked. If you watch what I posted earlier with Mike Epps saying how everybody wants to be tricked, um, but it's all about trickery, right? And this I just feel like tricks are for kids, you silly rabbit, right? But I get it though. I get it. That is how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor, you know? Those that uh, are conscious and awoke are few. Those that are dumb, deaf, and blind are many. So it is easy to trick the masses. I just try to stay away from those types, right? If that makes any sense. But with that being said, right, Ben Whitaker fought this weekend, right? And I was watching a lot of the boxing guys. They was like, yo, he knocked the guy out in the first round. And guys, if you want behind the scenes, you know boxing, I'm talking about Ben Whitaker's fight right now. Ben Whitaker knocked the guy out in the first round, right? Let me pull it up on Twitter. Let's go over here to Twitter. We'll be on Twitter. We're gonna go to Twitter, y'all. All right? Pull up a chair, hit the like button. Yo, what is my man's name? Your name is Baden Mars. Baden, feeling your booty. If you rock with me, why you didn't hit the like button yet? I still don't have a like. So do you really rock with me? Because you didn't hit the like button, boy. Hit the like button, that's free. A lot of these people always want to tell you they rock with you, they fuck with you, but they don't even do things that are free. That's why I tell a lot of them, like, yo, get lost, man. Get lost, man. We don't want you over here. We don't want you over here. Get lost, right? So Ben Whitaker, let me see if I can find him and pull it up, right? I didn't speak on this all weekend because I, you know what I like to do now when it comes to certain boxing? I just like to just chill. I like to just chill and let all of the programmers, right? I love to let all the programmers and the tricksters do what they do, right? And look, here it is right here. Is this it? Is this knockout? Yeah, look. Is this guy's knockout? Yeah. Yeah, he clear. Look, we'll let this rock, right? Do they got a better one of the combos? He's entertaining though. I get it. He's entertaining. He's entertaining, right? Ben Whitaker is very entertaining. That's why they like him. All right, this is the better one. I'm not gonna play the sound. I'm gonna keep the sound muted. But this is the guy he knocked out, right? It's all about the tricks today, right? So this is the guy he knocked out. And if you look at the knockout, right? He clearly looks like he's like that, right? He's a superior fighter, his skills, but the opposition, for people that's over here right now, if you know boxing and you're not tricked and you know what you're watching, what type of skill level did that guy that he knocked down in the first round look like he had? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, man. Put it in the comments, man. What type of skill level did he look like he was at? What kind of skill level, man? He put this guy down in the first round underneath the lights. Did this guy look like he was on that level? Let's put that out there, level. What level did he look like he was at, y'all? Come on, we talking boxing, man. I listen. I'm not gonna stay on this long. If you're sitting in the bushes and you're just watching, I won't stay on this long. I'm gonna move on. But this is the knockout. This is the knockout. Right? He went in there. Look at the crowd. The crowd is all into it. The announcers, everybody. This is tricking the viewers. This is a prime example of that right here. A prime example of that. And then it spills out over to social media because we watched a lot of the agents, content programmers, they ran with it too, right? Now, the guy that he fought, I don't know, I haven't even looked up his box records or not, but it's obvious he was below green. He didn't probably even belong in the ring. My guy Elegante probably would have did that to him. Elegante would have stepped on him like that. See, boxing is the new WWE. A lot of times, you're watching guys who are being manufactured. Remember when Derrick James and them try to say that about Bud Crawford, that he was manufactured, he was built. Because this is what all of these guys do. They all been building and manufacturing fighters for a long time, right? Especially if you got the right person behind you. Shout out to England across the pond in the building, right? Yes, he fought. Ben Whitaker fought a wingster. That guy was a wingster, man. He had no business in the ring with Ben Whitaker, but they put him in there, and Ben Whitaker got a highlight reel knockout, and it's all over social media, right? The tricks, they're tricking the viewers. How are you doing? Salute, 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 right? So, with that being said, right, this is what boxing consists of since the beginning of times, right? But now in the modern day era, I just think like the tricking is just at an all-time high. Because with social media, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, anybody can be a narrative pusher. A narrative pusher. You can come on here with a story or a storyline or generate a story, right? And I want to say shout out to Bill Haney. Bill Haney mastered this, right? He mastered this, right? And I watched guys try to run with this. Shout out to me and my man CW. Me and my man CW did a Fire Live over the weekend on Saturday, and I was basically breaking that down when I did the live stream on the Devin Haney era. See, Bill Haney mastered that. He owns a majority. Yes, owns. I said that correctly. He owns, right? But I look at it like this, right? A lot of these, at least he's a black owner, right? And shout out to you, Bill. You're a black owner. A lot of these other guys, they sell their channels. They're like Future, right? Did you just recently see how Future sold his catalog for 75 million, something in the left numbers, but he doesn't own it no more. But he didn't sell it to somebody that looks like him. He sold it to, I believe, somebody, maybe one of the Jews in the music industry. Now they will receive all the residuals of all of his music, right? But at least with Bill is a brother, and he owns a lot of these YouTubers. So if he hits them up, or cash apps them, or throws them a super chat, they will push a Devin Haney narrative or storyline, and we watch this, right? Now I think Bill was smart because he cornered the market, right? He watched. You know who had that, but it didn't go nowhere because I don't think he really fucked with them. Earl Spence. Earl Spence, at a point in time, had a lot of these guys fucking with him, right? And they were pushing narratives for him. But see, where they fucked up with Earl and EJ and the rest of those guys is these guys was on drugs. They were getting high. They were drinking. These guys was pushing narratives for them. But when it came to all the things that they was doing, they didn't want to talk about that. And I think that's what really killed their brand off, right? And then when Terrence Crawford got a hold of him, really exposed it. But I think Bill sat back and watched. Because remember, this is the Devin Haney era. That's what he said. And that's why I used that, what's the name? It's all about tricking, right? He was like, man, if I can control these guys and I can control the narratives, and I remember I put this in my joint. He who controls the sheeps control the game. Most of these guys that sit on social media, Twitter, I mean it's called X now, X, IG, Facebook, they're all sheep. Majority of the sheep want to do what? They want to go viral, right? These guys want to go viral. They want to have clout. That's another word they use, clout. They want notoriety, right? They're willing to sell their soul for clout, the viral moment, right? For a gimmick, right? Tricks. These are all the tricks, right? But if they really were awoken and smart, right? It's easy for all of these things right here to be viral, to have clout, to have notoriety. All it takes is shout out to King Richard. Yes, it's easy to have all of these things, right? To be viral, to have clout and notoriety. All it takes is shout out to King Richard Williams. Richard Williams, right? Consistency. See, one thing about if you are consistent, right? And this is why I fall back, right? Because one thing about me now, they can't hide, they can't lie no more. I have been consistent. The fighters that they always said that whether it was Earl Spence and then Jihad Tucker that I pushed the line for, right? And there's others, but I'll just use those two. When I push the line and I brand them, right? Earl Spence, Team Spence, so it don't make sense. Took off, right? Jihad Tucker, right? LeBron James of the game, right? Took off, right? $1 Million Marley, right? Took off, right? These are stats. These are stamps, right? Then when I fall back, well, look, this is what I do. I put it on. Then I fall back. Because what I notice in this game, right? You want to go viral, you want clout, you want notoriety. I had all of that already. Viral, clout, notoriety. But depending on your deal or who you are, is how they will accept it or acknowledge it. Team Spencer, it don't make sense. Not only was that viral, that was crazy clout. And shout out to little Blue Spence, Ivy Spence, right? His daughter. I remember she said that on before he fought Crawford. She said, if it ain't Team Spence, then it don't make sense. If it ain't Team Spence, then it don't make sense. She was rhyming. That's sauce, baby. Viral, clout, notoriety. If it ain't Team Spence, then it don't make sense. If it ain't Team Spence, then it don't make sense. Viral, clout, notoriety without the gimmick. Jihad Tucker, LeBron James of the game. LeBron James of the game. Viral, clout, notoriety. Viral, clout, notoriety. See, the fans want to be tricked. The thing is, they want me to trick them. I've been tricking y'all. Huh? I've been tricking y'all. Now I just front on y'all and call y'all what y'all are. Jealous fans, right? Punks that sit in the bushes. Man, you niggas is in the bushes right now. Y'all are in the bushes right now watching. Feeling your booty. You still in the bushes over there? See, you guys are so programmed to sit in the bushes and not do things that's free. But you've been doing things that's free. You guys are dick eaters, right? You guys are followers, copycats, right? Right? That's what you guys are, man. That's what you guys are, man. And you guys like to be tricked. I've been tricking y'all. And see, how I trick y'all is I front on y'all. So I'll be like, damn, you niggas copy my moves, right? Literally copy my moves. But you can't copy my motion because you do not have no stamps nor no receipts. Where are your stamps and receipts? Go get a fucking job, man. Go get a job, man. How's the content looking, y'all? But yes, Ben Whitaker, great performance against a green opponent. So now the trickery is back in effect. Because remember when they did step up his opposition, I think he twisted his ankle or something, right? Y'all remember that fight? He twisted his ankle. But now they put him in there with a guy. Like I said, I would I can't wait till some of my guys can get those calls, man. Mm-hmm. Because all they do, it's it's all about relationships, man. These gatekeepers know this shit. If you got the right relationship, they'll put you on these cards. They'll put you on these cards, man. That guy had no business fighting Ben Whitaker, but whoever his team handlers was, they had relationships and they got him on the card to get crashed out in one round by Ben Whitaker. Now Ben Whitaker has a highlight reel knockout. All the content creators were talking about it, making it seem like he really is a stepper. He stepped on something. In all actuality, he didn't step on nothing. He fought a green opponent, a guy that had no business in the ring with him, and it showed. But hey, what do I know? How is the content looking now, man? You know, you do have options, man. Let's see what you guys are looking like. I'm gonna pull up. I can't really see what's going on, but I can go over here. Right? I'm gonna go over here and look. Right? I'm gonna look. Hopefully you guys are hitting the like button and you guys are sending the gifts. Send the gifts, man. Please send the gifts. All right, only one like right there. We gotta do better with these likes, man. Come on. Do better with the likes, man. Likes are free, man. Come on. Look, I'm gonna put in the chat. Do better with the likes. It's free, man. Run the lights up, man. Cause I'm gonna tell you, my views have been going up. Right? The views have been going up. You gotta do better with the likes though, man. Do better with the likes, man. All right? Only one like over here. That's nasty work. Get a real job? I do. I'm off today. I have a career. Fuck a job, brother. I have a career, dick eater. Great legend. You know what my career is? I've been pimping your mother for about, 25 joints. Been pimping that bitch, man. She's old now though, man. So I gotta get me a new young one. But, I got a job, career. I've been pimping that old tired big back bitch for years, man. Her pussy's wore out. She's wore out. So I gotta find me another one. You heard? But thank you. Thank you. And you go have a nice day now, right? You go have a nice day now. All right. I'll see you later. I have your funky ass mother out there on that track, sucking some more dick. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. I just had to address a clown on the Behind the Views, and I had to address that clown. Forgive me, right? It's all content, though, right? It's cool when they do it. It's cool when they do it, right? But let's move on now, right? I want to move on. I don't want a job. I hear you. Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is a true saying, Corey. If you do something that you like, that you love to do, right? Whatever it is, you just gotta find it. Maybe you gotta pray and find your niche, right? It's not a job. It's something that you love doing. That's what I tell young people all the time, right? But yeah, this guy, he's a troll. He was trolling. That's why I just trolled him back. Because, listen, regardless, he's in the bushes. He's talking that sideways shit in the bushes. I wouldn't be surprised if that was somebody from my job. Look. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if that was somebody from my job. Mad that I didn't come to work today. That I'm here doing this. I wouldn't be surprised. That's just it's just the type of shit you deal with. You deal with a bunch of motherfuckers that sit on the internet, they're weird. That's why I did my Jeffrey Dahmer's live last night. Because there's a million Jeffrey Dahmers now hiding on the internet. They hide, bro. They have these sick tendencies. They watch people. They're infatuated with people because they're not doing them. They want to do you. And then what I mean by do you, they want to do the things they watch you do. And then when they attempt to do it and they can't do it, that's when their sickness really kicks in. If that makes any sense, Corey. But I'm about to move along, right? Because we're talking about being tricked. And I think they did a great job this weekend with Ben Whitaker, right? Eventually, if they don't, if he doesn't, start stepping it up, he will be exposed too. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, we watched the guy get exposed, right? But I'm gonna stick with boxing, right? I'm gonna stick with boxing real quick. I'm gonna go over here. Hopefully it's still up there, but if it's not up there, I'll find it again, right? It's fight week, right? It is fight week. And my cousin, shout out to my cousin, man. I grew up looking up to this guy, right? I grew up looking up to this guy right here, man. Let me see. Hopefully it's still up there, right? I went to a lot of his fights. Me and a lot of my little cousins. Yeah, there he is. I grew up, this was, he's the OG of the family, man. That's Big Buddy McGirt, man. Buddy whooped a lot of ass, man. There he is with Frank Martin. Shout out to Frank Martin. See, a lot of y'all thought I didn't like Frank Martin. I had no beef with Frank Martin, man. That's why if you notice this fight, I've been marketing and highlighting the hell out of Frank Martin, man. I want to see Frank Martin win. I hope he becomes a world champion at 140. But that is my cousin, the great teacher, trainer, Buddy McGirt. Working with him, man. They fighting this weekend. I can't wait to see how Frank looks. And hopefully Earl Spence, if you come back, you get with Buddy too. Get a little bit of that magic, man. Get some of that magic. But look at Buddy. Look. Oh, that look like the sauce right there. Hold on, cuz. Don't show him at all, cuz. Did y'all catch that right there? That look like the sauce right there, right? Cut right here, showing them the movements, right? Subtle movements, right? That's why I tell you, Frank gonna look all right, man. And that's what he said. I ain't no punk, right? Why you thought you was a punk, right? I'm talking about Derrick James, right? Remember when Crawford ran down? He said, "You ain't no punk. You must know you a punk." Crawford never said she was a punk. Why did you do that, man? Bruce Gas, what's going on, OG? I see you over there. But yo, why did you think you was a punk? What? I ain't no punk. Yeah, you must know you a punk, man. Crawford never said you was a punk. He just asked you what was up. But you know, punks move like punks, man. But shout out to Frank Martin. Frank Martin is up this weekend, man. On a big card. Look, see, and y'all say I always be bashing the PBC. Look, what did I just say? I said that was a big card. Shout out to Lamont Roach, man. I'm glad. At least Lamont Roach, you got 2 fights in this year. The guy you had a great performance against, Tank Davis, has been on the show. The face of boxing, y'all. Tank Davis only fought 1 time this year. And look, the tricks, see? We gotta stick with the code tricks. You niggas that sit online, the Ganons, the Girl Scout guy, yo, your man is supposed to be the face of boxing. He only fought 1 time this year. 1 time. And it wasn't even a big thing. The big thing was the fact that he did not lose the fight that many people thought he lost. The tricks. How the content looking? Oh, Pacquiao Jr. lost his fight, man. That was his pro debut. Did he lose or got a draw? What was it? I can't remember. I seen some article or something on it. I didn't really follow it, man. I didn't follow it. Like I just like I told my man Rocket, when it comes to boxing now, you know, I'm moving in the shadows. I'm just watching. Because what I'm seeing, a lot of guys lost their motion. Whether it is the fact that a lot of the big promotional companies, they don't have these network deals anymore. So a lot of the fighters are on the shelf. It's like, boxing, real talk, if you really follow it, it's at a serious low point. Yeah, I don't know why they keep trying to mute my mic. Look, they ain't here trying to mute my mic. When I get to kicking that real shit, they want to mute my mic. But yes, boxing is at a serious low point. And I think it's at a low point because they gave him a draw. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. You know, he was trying to live off his father's name. You know why they gave him a draw? Because Manny's still fighting. I think if his father wasn't fighting and still not trying to be all in the videos on the link, he would have got the victory. But his father, you know, Manny, they talking about Manny fighting Rolly. Right? Did you see that? That's another thing. And I say this respectfully. Yo, the PBC is washed. They got a stable of fighters, young active fighters, but they still be trying to do these old, like, yo, bro, smoke and mirror. Manny Pacquiao's, respectfully, a senior citizen now, man. It's like, yo, and that's why they're fucking, they're diminishing these young guys. You got guys over there it's their time in the pride land. Let them get active, man. Like Rolly, look, that shit is gonna flop. If Rolly does fight Manny Pacquiao, which they are trying to create, who's buying that fight, man? That is why the Jake Paul, look, the tricking shit is over, man. Look, Manny Pacquiao, thank you for bringing that up, Corey. You get a star. Shout out to Corey. You get a star, man. Yo, Manny Pacquiao was linked to how many PBC fighters for big fights? All the way back to Floyd Mayweather. Remember, they set records. Manny and Floyd. Then Manny was going to fight who? Earl Spence. That was going to be Earl Spence's biggest fight, but then, you know, all the truth started coming out. He was a damaged warrior. Remember the retina shit? So he didn't get the fight. Right? He didn't get the fight. Who else? Manny also fought Keith Thurman. Look, pay attention to this. Keith Thurman. Thurman and Earl Spence is in the same ever bracket. So now he fought a Floyd Mayweather. He's linked to a fight with Keith Thurman. He was supposed to fight Earl Spence. That fight didn't fall through because of Earl Spence's retina tear, right? Fast forward, they bring this guy back out again. Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, come on, man. PBC, respectfully, the plays, the tricks that y'all been running, this is why boxing's where it's at, man. It's too much trying to recycle yesteryears instead of developing what we have now. And I think the one company that has the formula, right? Because I'm a historian of this, right? It's Top Rank, man. And we see them right now. They Top Rank is doing bad, but they're reloading. They're smart. They're reloading, right? Abdullah Mason. Look, Top Rank is smart, right? One thing I can say about Top Rank, right? They've been doing it, right? They lost Shakur. They lost Terrence Crawford, right? When they lost Terrence Crawford, they had Shakur in the wing. Shakur jumped ship as well, right? They had Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis crashed out. A lot of y'all was saying Brian Norman Jr. Man, Brian Norman Jr. never was going to get that wave. It was who I always told y'all. Abdullah Mason. It was Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason popped off, right? Yo, Phil and Djibouti, they over here, man. Come over here. Matter of fact, why don't you just go create another page and come back around again? See you later, right? Then, now it's Abdullah Mason. And Abdullah Mason is 21 years old. Clean cut, right? Clean cut, right? Abdullah Mason's clean cut, man. Does Abdullah Mason have any bad press? Put it in the comment section if you know what I'm speaking on. Does Abdullah Mason, how's Abdullah Mason's image? Him and all his brothers, he has 5 brothers and a father that is not all in the videos, all out there doing goofy business, right? Right? We talking boxing right now. Look, I've been on for 35 minutes. This has been boxing. Abdullah Mason, yeah. 21 years old. He's the star, man. Watch the difference. Remember, a lot of you guys were saying Brian Norman Jr., right? Yeah, Brian Norman Jr., they traded him off quick. He got traded off quick. It was Abdullah Mason. It was Abdullah Mason, right? And I'm speaking for the brothers, right? They also have another guy that they are grooming, right? So you gotta cover all the markets, right? You know who the other guy is that they're grooming? Xander, for the Spaniards, the Puerto Ricans, the Latinos. It's Xander, right? So they have Abdullah and Xander. Xander set the fight a hometown fight, right? A hometown unification fight that is dangerous. But if Xander wins this fight and it takes 2 belts, watch what happens with him next. That's what I'm telling you. See, Top Rank, they are in the shadows trying to set up a major move. They're in the shadows trying to set up a major move. He said, that's another account stealing your content, by the way. I just scrolled into it. Man, is it Jared Hartley? Thank you for acknowledging that. I'm glad that you know it. Yo, Jared Hartley, I'm glad that you know it. Appreciate that, soldier, right? But Xander is set to make a run. If he defeats this guy in Puerto Rico, it's up, you know? Now look, I'm giving y'all boxing today, man. Don't say that I don't be dropping the gems over there. Right? You guys don't even like to hit the like button. Y'all won't even hit the like button. Right? Look, I'm giving y'all real play-by-plays. Right? Did y'all see the content that I put out exposing all these agents that was been tricking y'all? Right? All these agents that been tricking y'all. Yo, they had Brian Norman Sr. on their show for a whole month leading up to that fight. And I said, yo, why they never asked him about a rematch clause? These niggas are supposed to know how to interview and talk. That should have been one of the number one questions. Yo, is there a rematch clause? I remember saying that before the fight too. Cause I got, I got that the 411 that there was no rematch clause. I was like, word. Once I knew that, and I told my peoples, I said, yo, he's gonna lose this fight. He's gonna lose. Not only he's gonna lose, he's gonna look like a fool. And the father damn sure looked like a fool, right? Look like a fool. Not only did he look like a fool, most of you fans that was online, y'all look like the biggest fools. Going back to the thesis of the topic today, because all y'all got tricked. All y'all got tricked. Y'all sit around gathering up, tricked, looked stupid, making thumbnails, having long debates, getting on the phone, calling up other content bums, right? You call them bums up. Yo, let's go live together and talk about this. You don't even know what you're talking about. Have no clue what you're talking about. Still one out there. Mickey Bays, shout out to Mickey, man. I like Mickey Bay. Mickey Bay is making his rounds now. Just clowning this dude. Yes, they tricked y'all. They didn't sell y'all a dream, man. It's the game. They ain't sell y'all a dream. They tricked y'all, man. You got tricked. That's what the game is about. Tricking the sheep. They tricked y'all. And they used the agents. You know, he who controls the sheep controls the games, right? He who controls the sheep controls the game. They tricked y'all. They tried to trick my brother, but I wasn't gonna let him fall victim. That's why I was like, yo, bro, don't fall for the victim. I'm telling you, that's why they don't like me. The reason why they don't like me is because I'm too raw, I'm uncut, and I'm not with the tricks. I'm not with the tricks. And ain't nobody, I'm not a punk. See, the punk's been in power, right? If you know, you know, right? The punks been in power. The punks control the game. Now, if the punks are comfortable with you, they will give you play. But at what cost? That's why these guys, I'll be like, yo, what you do for that? What did you do for that? But you can look, you know all the punks. Punks up, they get beat down. They get nothing but a beat down. And once I feel like you got punk tendencies or you took a punk deal, I get away from you. I slide, look, slide to the left, slide to the right. Look, crisscross, right? I get away from you, man. Because they got you, they own you. They own you, right? Am I getting too deep for y'all? No Diddy. Look, am I getting too deep for you? Take that. Yeah. Right? Take that. How's the content looking, man? How's the content looking? Jared Hartley said they were stealing my stuff. Let me check you out, Jared. Real quick. What was they stealing, Jared? Talk to me, Jared. What they stealing? Let me see where you at, Jared. But yes, I can't wait to see Frank Martin and my cousin fight, man. Yeah, my other cousin, right? We used to go to the fights. Yo, that nigga was retarded, right? They stopped allowing him to go to the fight. Because, you know, Buddy will tell you this. Yo, Buddy fought at Madison Square Garden so many times coming up. And they used to organize buses, right? They used to have the buses to go out there, to go out to support him a lot of times, right? My cousin, we used to go to the fights all the time. And me personally, I grew up in karate and boxing and all that. So I was uh I was disciplined. Now my cousin on the other hand, he was like I said, he was a little retarded. He was a special ed student, had behavior problems. But he would go to the fights, he would go to my tournaments and things, and he would go to school and try to fight. If the fights was Saturday, that following Monday, it was a known thing. He was going to get suspended from school for going to school to fight, right? Because he went to the fights and he wanted to fight, right? So we used to go to Buddy's fights. And sure enough, this guy would get into an altercation, get suspended, and things like that. It would always happen. And whenever he would get suspended, he would always say, I went to the fights. I wanted to be like Buddy. I wanted to be like cousin Buddy. Right? I wanted to be like cousin Buddy. And he used to always be like, why doesn't Shorty do that? I was like, I don't have to. Niggas know what's up with me. I just if I gotta defend myself, I'm gonna put it on a motherfucker. But I'm disciplined. Shout out to Sensei Latimer. Right? When you are official and you are a real master, that's what they teach you, right? You're a Jedi master, right? You play defense, right? Um, there's a saying, right? The loudest in the room is the weakest, right? So when it's the nigga that's always loud, he ain't shit. Yo, that nigga's pussy. Right? It's the nigga that's quiet. You gotta watch. You don't know how he's coming. He's dangerous. That loud nigga, that nigga that's making the scene, that's the nigga you make the scene on. You make an example out of that sucker, right? You do that sucker like Achilles, and then you scream on the crowd. Is there anyone else? Niggas is gonna see that shit, right? They're gonna see that shit and get scared. You make an example out of that nigga, man. You leave that nigga dismembered. And they gonna be like, yo, that nigga's crazy. They gonna get the fuck away from you, right? They gonna get away from you, man. That's what you do, man. When any of these listen, I instill that in my kids. Coach Reed got that to the T, right? Not so much Nasaya yet. But I know why Nasaya doesn't have it. Because Nasaya is a killer. She doesn't want to hurt nobody. But I'll be like, yo, fuck that. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. When motherfuckers get stupid, you get stupid too, right? Because one thing I noticed, right? Most punks and cowards, they prey on the weak, right? They prey on the weak. That's why anytime that's why me and that dude got at it because he thought I was weak because I was humble. But I let him know, like, yo, homie, you're a buster. I will fuck you up. I will give you exactly what you're looking for and not the way you're looking for it. And then you're going to be the victim. And I'm going to have to fight this and do this. But I don't give a fuck because I'm going to give you what you're looking for. And you will never fuck with me again. And those that witnessed this will know the story. Ask about me. Anybody that I ever came across that got stupid, I said, okay, that's what it is. I don't give a fuck. That's what it's going to be. Right? But just know. Man, hold on. Hello, I'm on my podcast. Huh? Look, I don't have access to the funds. I, I told you that. I, I told you that Friday, yeah. If you want to, yeah, that would be good. Because I told you, listen, I told you, right? Listen, yo, I told you Friday, I get paid. That's my money. But the money that was stolen, I have no access to. I'm back, yeah. I'm back. Well, but like I was saying, look, they always muting my mic, man. Yeah, they like muting my mic when I kick that real shit, right? Like I said, anytime a punk attempts to make a scene, you make a scene. That's all you do. You make the scene, right? And when you make the scene, you make sure you make the scene. You won't have those problems again, man. Right? But stick it on code. It's all about the tricks. It's all about the tricks and the gimmicks, man. Right? It's all about the tricks and the gimmicks. We're gonna have the Charlo talk. Charlo ain't fighting Trey. Come on, man. Charlo's a trick, man. Trey, you in a good situation. You Team Crawford, man. All you gotta do is stay in the pocket over there. Team Crawford got the game on smash, man. Team Crawford right now. Bud got the game on smash. Bud got the plug. Team Crawford got the plug, man. If you really know the chessboard and know how the game is being played, Team Crawford is in the position of power right now. They control the gate. Whether they're going to be gatekeepers, we have to wait to see. But they control the gate right now. Team Crawford, right? That is why, the talk on the what's the name is Crawford Canelo and what Crawford's demands are. Because they know who's controlling the game. You just gotta follow who's really. That's why I said what I said about Dev. Dev is there. Dev is there. When Terrence is, riding off into the sunset, it's gonna be Dev. I better pay attention. The moves are being made right now. But like I said, game is to be sold and not told. These niggas don't talk boxing on my type of level because they don't have the conversations with the people that I have the conversations with. So I don't even get into all of that because when I do kick that, the agents, the niggas that be out here tricking niggas, they try to run with my flow. And then when I catch them in traffic and I be like, yo, homie, I need that. I be like, yo, I need that. I get on my dope, I be like, there was a problem here. I need that, man. You remember you was running with my shit. I be like, yo, it's a problem here? Huh? It's a problem here? It's a problem here? Quick, fast. Then that's how I give it up out here, man. Cause niggas sit on the internet and talk about you. You can talk about anybody you want to talk about on the internet. But when you see that person in real life and they want to know what that's about, they be like, yo, homie, what was that about, man? Come holler at me, man, right? But yeah, you in a good position. You Team Crawford, man. Team Crawford got the game on smash. But Devin Haney and Bill and them is right there at the door. Don't sleep. They right there at the door. They been there at the door, man. But that's neither here nor there. All right? Don't get tricked. Don't get tricked. A lot of fighters get tricked. They get tricked out their spot, they get tricked out their situation, and then that window is closed. Once that window closes on you, it's over. And when that window closes on you, it's hard to get back in. Real talk. It's hard to get back in. I'm watching it right now with certain fighters. I'm like, yeah, it's over for them. I was talking with somebody behind the scenes yesterday, and I was like, they was like, what do you think about such and such? I said, it's over. Look, I was like, yo, it's over, man. When you got to pay attention to the signs, right? Boxing is all about your alliances. It's just like the Game of Thrones, right? Look, I'm gonna start a whole nother thing right here. Look, it's about the Game of Thrones, right? That's a good series, right? I use the Game of Thrones because I want to be commercial. I would use The Wire too, man. I'm gonna use both. I'm gonna use The Wire for the hood niggas so they can understand, and I'm gonna use the Game of Thrones for the, the commercial people, right? Boxing is just like the Game of Thrones, right? All the great houses, right, are at war. It's all war, right? But you have to choose your allies correctly, right? That's how the Game of Thrones was, right? Remember the King of the North, the Starks, they was at war with who? The Lannisters. The Lannisters was from the South. So they was all lining up, falling in line, right? This is like boxing, right? You be like, damn, certain fighters, and look, I'm gonna use Team Crawford, right? House Crawford. House Crawford was at war. House Crawford, for a long time, had weak allies. And it showed. That's why he was always getting done the way he was getting done. Outside of the ring. Inside the ring, these niggas know. Terrence Jones, I call him Jones, he's my cousin. Terrence is beating the shit out of niggas. But outside the ring, he did not have the muscle until he got with Turkey. Because prior to that, Earl Spence and the PBC, Game of Thrones, y'all, they was the Lannisters. Crawford was the king of the North, but he did not have the dragons yet. He did not possess the dragons, right? Earl Spence had who? Al B. Sure. You gotta get up on girl. And he had Al, right? Call Al. Al had the money. Al had $1 billion. Al had $1 billion. Al had the bag, right? Al had the bag. Al was running things, right?